Welcome back to Tribe Talk. With us today is the head women's basketball coach at William & Mary, Ed Swanson. And first of all, Ed, I was in preparing for this interview today, refreshing my memory, and I know we've congratulated you many times on 500 victories in your great career as you enter your 8th season at the helm. Congratulations on that coming very early last season.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Guess it says I had a lot of great players over my career, and you can reach those sort of milestones when you have players that believe in what you're doing and play hard for you and play the game the right way. So it's really an award for all the players over the 8 years here at William & Mary and the 23 at Sacred Heart University. So I'll cherish that memory. It's a great honor.
Coach, you mentioned doing it the right way, and you've steadily built this program up to not only respectability, but anybody that plays Coach Ed Swanson team knows what they're in for. 21 victories last year, including 12 in the CAA. Comment on how that infuses not only on the recruiting trail, but confidence in the current players.
Remind your viewers that, we were picked for seventh place in the preseason CAA poll. But I knew early on that we had a chance to be special. Like I said, the players had a great deal of confidence. The chemistry was there right from the start. We had a terrific off season in terms of our postseason, in terms of our summer workouts and our preseason workouts. So I wasn't a bit surprised, the type of year we had. Unfortunately, obviously, it was cut short, and I thought we were playing some of our best basketball and playing at a real high level entering that CAA tournament. Unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to, end it in the way we wanted to end it.
Coach, recently, Player of the Year candidate Eva Hodgson and her teammate Libby Underwood have opted out this season for COVID reasons. Safety first. How are you and your staff and your team adapting to those two young ladies not being on the squad?
Well, you said the major word is an adjustment, and we respect their decision. I respect their decision. We're living through some crazy times here, Jay, in terms of COVID-19. And if anybody's not comfortable in terms of playing, we don't want them playing. And Jay, I'd equate it to, if a player had a sprained ankle and the trainer says they were good to go, but the player didn't feel like they could play, well, then we wouldn't play them. You know what I mean? So, Eva and Libby are still part of our family, part of our tribe. We'd love for them to be here, but we understand why they're not.
Sydney Wagner, however, is a young lady that's playing this year for the Tribe women's basketball team, and she was picked on the CAA all-conference team. Tell us about what Sydney brings to the table.
Yeah, Sydney, had a terrific year, I thought, last year. She was our third leading scorer, kind of coming off the bench, gave us that real shot in the arm that I think any good team needs, is somebody that can score the ball coming off the bench. And now her, production is going to have to increase, and I think it will. She's had a terrific, postseason, although we haven't been able to work with her as much. But, basketball is really important to her, and I think she said to me earlier this year, I want to be the best possible player that I can be. And so we're encouraging her on two things. We want her to become a better defender. In order for her to play major minutes for us this year, her defense has got to improve over last year. And she's got to be more of a guard. Last year, again, she was that energy off the bench, looking to score the ball off the bench. Now she's going to have to not only score the ball, but she's going to have to be a facilitator a little bit more, hopefully increase her assist to turnover ratio. But she's had a terrific, preseason practice, in our 5 weeks or so here in practice, and we're looking for an increased production from her this year.
I noticed in the first part of the interview, you made reference to last year what the media picked to the Tribe, and you overcame that hurdle. This year, picked 8th. What's your prognosis?
Well, Jay, this is my I think it's my 31st year as a head coach, and I've been picked first. I've been picked last. And when those preseason predictions came out, I just gathered the team, and I said, don't let anybody else write your story. Don't let the coaches in the league, don't let the media, don't let the other teams write your story. You control your own destiny. You control your own story. So obviously we'll use that as fuel to hopefully motivate. If you know me as a coach, I try getting under players' skins every once in a while, and I'll I'll mention that. Hey, remember they picked us for 8th. Remember they didn't pick you for all league, in hopes to light engage that fire a little bit more if it hasn't already been lit. But this team has made great strides here in the preseason. They're really coming together. We have 3 seniors: Bailey Eichner, Gabby Rogers, and Nyla Pollard, who have been through the CAA battles before. We're looking for them for leadership. Obviously, Sid's improvement, Bree Bellamy's improvement. I'm excited about where this team is going and can go.
Coach, we look forward to catching up with you throughout the season and see what the women's basketball team progress has been. Pretty interesting preseason schedule as well, with 3 great teams coming to Kaplan Arena.
Yeah, I mean, opening up, we open up on the road at Old Dominion, and we're not looking too much farther past that one. And then obviously, another rivalry game right here with Richmond at home. And then obviously we have Liberty, Navy, Radford. So we have a very localized, non-conference season. Hopefully we'll play those 6 games, and that'll get us ready for January, February, March.
Continued success on the hardwood. Coach Ed Swanson, women's basketball coach, in his 8th season at William & Mary. Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thanks, Jay.
Are the big banks leaving a bad taste in your mouth, charging you all sorts of fees and giving you nothing in return? Open a Langley Pays checking account, and you'll earn 10 cents every time you use your debit card. Get your paycheck up to 3 days early and avoid those nasty fees. Now that's a sweet account. Call us or visit a Langley branch to open an account today.
Today's brands need to activate their marketing budgets to engage consumers locally where they live and shop. Local events across the country are seeking relevant sponsors and partners, and retailers are always looking for ways to increase store traffic and dollar sales. Bring all parties together and, well, bam! Brand Activation Maximizer, or BAM, is a proven, one-of-a-kind software platform that connects brands, events, and retailers. It provides brands with unique opportunities to reach consumers, while helping events grow bigger and better. And best of all, BAM gets proven sales results by taking retailer interests into account. We've already successfully optimized more than $200 million in sponsorship to date, featuring some of the world's biggest brands and events. Yours could be next. BAM! It's that simple.
Welcome back once again to Tribe Talk, where we talk all things Tribe. This is Jay Colley, and with us a great guest and a very timely guest, the great Will Rhymes, who graduated from William & Mary in 2005, was an outstanding baseball player, played about 9 years, give or take, in pro baseball, including a couple of stints in the major leagues. Will came to William & Mary from Houston, Texas. And first of all, Will, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
You know, I said a timely interview. You are the player development director for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And those of you who may or may not know, recently the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. First of all, congratulations on what must have been a very exciting time in your life.
Thanks. Yeah, it was. It's something we've worked really hard for. And, I think what we're about is as soon as we found out about this, the attitude from Andrew and everyone was, there's a championship to be won. We want to win it. And I think that kind of set the guiding principle. And let's be creative. Let's be flexible. Let's communicate the things that we do well. And let's figure out a way to win this thing. Even being in kind of a weird year, it was really fulfilling for us in the front office. So it was fun.
The conversation will revolve around 2 paths for Will Rhymes. First of all, the one that from Houston, Texas to William and Mary as a baseball player. Can you give us some notes about that?
Sure. I wasn't heavily recruited. I had some help from scouts. My twin brother Jonathan and I had some help from scouts. We got some attention from East Coast schools, mostly good academic schools. And I think my goal was to have baseball help me get into a school maybe that was better than I can get into on my own. I got into William Mary on my own. I'm sure there was a little bit of help from Jim Farr. But Jim was a really good recruiter, and he came and saw us, I think, in Florida, and he was aggressive and from day one, and he got me up to the campus. And I called my dad the night I was there. I was like, look, this is where I want to be. This place is awesome. The people are great. And I loved everything about it from day one. And it was a great decision. And I've always, credit William Mary for a lot of what's happened, and even just the great experience that it was when I was there. I was aware of it at the time of what a great experience it was.
You hit over 350 at William and Mary. You're in the Hall of Fame, obviously. 413 your senior year, and that, folks, again, that 13 has a 4 in front of it. An incredible senior year. You got drafted in the Major League draft. Now the second path is how in the world a young man, a biology major of all things at William and Mary, went from being drafted to being the director of player development for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I mean, it's kind of a long story there. It took a while. I mean, I think the 10 years of playing professionally and playing at every level really is a valuable experience. And I know these days, I don't know if how many people follow the trends in player development and professional coaching, but they've gone away a little bit from the traditional playing background experiences in some cases. And I just think that experience is incredibly valuable. Having been on the buses in each of the leagues and having kind of earned your way from 27th round to the big leagues, nothing really handed to you ever. And obviously the other experiences are valuable too. Guys who are drafted high and get there, guys like Brendan Harris or Bill Bray, Chris Ray. I mean, those guys also have completely valid paths, but mine was kind of unique in its difficulty, or at least in its unlikeliness, just by the probabilities of being drafted in the 27th round. So I think it was a great experience. And from there, I wanted to stay in the game. I felt like I kind of had a PhD in baseball, and anything else that I went into would be maybe just not utilizing, first of all, something I like, but also utilizing my skill set that had been developed organically over time, and had some encouragement from some great, executives that I had come across, and took a pro scouting gig for my first job on this side of things, and did that for 2 years. And they were great. They gave me exposure to all sorts of things they shouldn't have. And then they flipped me into the assistant director of player development role, and the next year into the director role. So obviously incredibly proud to work here. We have brilliant people everywhere, and to be able to run our system, which is, kind of looked at as the model system in professional baseball. I'm really proud, and obviously I'm lucky, very lucky, because, kind of walked into a great situation.
You mentioned a little bit earlier how William and Mary has helped you develop not only on the baseball field under Coach Farr, but also maybe academically with the rigors. Do you see any commonality in what you learned at William and Mary and your success with the Dodgers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's hard to kind of say specifically, but I think what you learn in school and what I learned at William and Mary was how to problem solve, how to think critically, and how to use my time. And I know this probably all sound kind of basic, but when you go through as a biology major, and actually I didn't really settle on that until kind of late. So it wasn't until my junior year. So I really had to cram a lot into 2 years. And while playing baseball, it was always under a time crunch. So I think I learned how to be efficient and how to study efficiently, how to take in a lot of information. And I think that's probably the biggest thing in this job. Is it's a big, we have 300 players. We have 80 something staff members that kind of are under the umbrella here. And there's an enormous amount of information coming in on players, data, updates, and it's just the ability to kind of take in that information and parse out what's important and what isn't, and kind of get to work and pour bandwidth into the things that are important. And I think those are skills you kind of pick up when you're playing a varsity sport at a high level. And we were very competitive those years, and also trying to take your education seriously. I think you kind of learn how to figure out when you need to pour energy into something and not something else.
Will, it's been a delight talking with you. We're all very proud of you and happy for the Dodgers. Well, most of us are happy for the Dodgers. But anyway, I'm just kidding about that. Of course, Will Rhymes, a Hall of Famer at William and Mary, graduate in 2005. Thanks so much for taking some time and continued success.
Thank you, Jay.
With your Village Bank debit card, earn points on everyday purchases and redeem them for something special. Village Bank, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Everything you know about Colonial Heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
Are the big banks leaving a bad taste in your mouth? Charging you all sorts of fees and giving you nothing in return? Open a Langley Pays checking account and you'll earn 10 cents every time you use your debit card. Get your paycheck up to 3 days early and avoid those nasty fees. Now that's a sweet account. Call us or visit a Langley branch to open an account today.
The Tribe Leader of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, recognizes exceptional William & Mary student athletes for their contributions as leaders in the classroom and the community. This week's Tribe Leader of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, is sophomore swimmer Connor Sokolowski. In the pool, he is a 3-event finalist at his first CA Championships in 2020. A computer science major, Connor sports a near-perfect GPA and was named a Provost Award winner last year. On campus, Connor is a member of the Student Assembly twice, being elected Class of 2023 president. He entered William & Mary as a 1693 scholar, one of just 8 in the university's entering class. Since April of 2020, Connor has served as a grant and market research intern at Virginia Pace Authority, which is a green nonprofit startup. As part of his efforts, he has helped secure over $100,000 in grant funding.
With your Village Bank debit card, earn points on everyday purchases and redeem them for something special. Village Bank, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Everything you know about Colonial Heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
Today's brands need to activate their marketing budgets to engage consumers locally where they live and shop. Local events across the country are seeking relevant sponsors and partners, and retailers are always looking for ways to increase store traffic and dollar sales. Bring all parties together and, well, bam! Brand Activation Maximizer, or BAM, is a proven, one-of-a-kind software platform that connects brands, events, and retailers. It provides brands with unique opportunities to reach consumers. while helping events grow bigger and better. And best of all, BAM gets proven sales results by taking retailer interests into account. We've already successfully optimized more than $200 million in sponsorship to date, featuring some of the world's biggest brands and events. Yours could be next. BAM! It's that simple.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk. This is Jay Colley. Thanks for joining us on this Thanksgiving afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. With us is assistant basketball coach at William & Mary. For the men's side, Mike Howland. And first of all, Coach, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And thanks for taking some time with us today.
Thanks for having me, Jay. Happy Thanksgiving.
Mike, through the ordeal that we call COVID now, among other things, tell us a little bit about your role with the basketball program. And I know that you've had a lot to do with scheduling and all the problems, very frankly, that came along with what we're going through.
Yeah, scheduling's been, it's never very much fun, but COVID threw a whole new wrinkle into it. And just like all the schedulers out there, it's a big day when you finish up the schedule, and then COVID threw a whole new wrench into it. And, we basically had to start over and start from scratch. Now, we kept some games, but the whole goal with scheduling became making it local and staying out of a hotel, staying off a plane, and all of our road games will be day tripping. I think our furthest road game is probably about 3.5 hours. So we accomplished what we wanted to, which was safety first, while still being able to play a good non-conference slate.
So, Coach, not to get into the actual conversations you had with your counterparts, as you call around the Commonwealth and beyond, but give us some idea of what that conversation was like, because at the time, and very frankly still is, every university is reacting on a day-to-day basis on what's going on in the world.
Yeah, it was total scramble mode. It still is. I mean, they are not for us, our schedule's set, but there are people hitting me up every day saying, do you need a game? Do you have this date? And it's hard because, something that usually takes 6 months to do, we had to do in 6 weeks. And so, you call around and you try to, we got ahead of it a little bit, to be honest with you. You kind of saw the writing on the wall. And so I had our normal schedule, and then I started to work on our COVID schedule. Not necessarily the dates, but who we were going to play and who we were going to try to play. And so, and luckily we were able to keep some games that we already had on the schedule, and it worked out for us. But, I know there's some guys out there still working very hard to try to figure it all out.
Coach Howland, one of your other duties, certainly recruiting. Everyone recruits on a basketball staff. How has COVID affected the ability, getting right down to it, to get to know the young men that you're going to be asking to spend a lot of time with over the next 4 years?
Yeah, it's different because you can't meet them in person. But yet especially when we were in quarantine, we had a lot more time. And I'm thankful that I thought we were way, way ahead of schedule on our 21 class. And, the guys that we targeted were the guys that we ended up getting early. And, obviously the three of them just signed the other day. But it is, it's just more conversations. There's just more get to know you, get to know the people around them, because you don't get that time with them on campus, or they don't get to come see us play. And so it makes it a little different, but we do our same due diligence, and we know what type of guys we want here at William & Mary. And so COVID doesn't change that.
I do want to talk about that 2022 campaign of recruiting in a minute, but let's talk about Langdon Hatton, Julian Lewis, and Tyler Rice, and what they'll bring to the table very soon for Tribe fans to enjoy. Yeah,
Langdon Hatton, he's actually the last kid I saw before quarantine hit. So, we got they banned the travel, and I saw LT the day before they banned the travel. And so that was a good stop on my way back. I was in Chicago seeing Connor Kuchera play, and then stopped at CLT, and he's a really, really versatile big kid. Can stretch it out to 3, can shoot it, pass it, play inside. I mean, we were really, really excited about LT. And he's a big boy right now. He's got a fairly college-ready body as a senior in high school. Tyler Rice is a kid I've seen for a long time. When I was at Winthrop, the school that Tyler Rice goes to was about 50 minutes away. So I've known Tyler and watched him since he was a freshman. A dynamic paint-touching guard, can score from all 3 levels, really plays well in the pick and roll. He's a playmaker. So obviously excited about him. And then, Julian Lewis, I feel like watching him, the best description, I think he's built kind of the Luke Lowy cloth of like, he's tough. He hits the paint. He can shoot it. He can really guard. He plays hard. So it's an exciting 3-man class of, guys that can, this sounds simple, but guys that can dribble, pass, shoot, think, guard. Like, I think all 3 of those kids can do all those things. And so we are definitely very excited to get them on campus here, not too far away,
Quickly, how about the true freshmen that are on campus now? Will be playing. Can you give us the Tribe fans a little brief overview of how they are adapting to the game?
Yeah, they are. They've been fantastic. I think they're wise beyond their years. I don't think they, like any freshman, they'll make their mistakes, and I think they learn very quickly, all 3 of them. And again, Yuri's just a really dynamic playmaker, just really hard to keep out of the paint. Connor Kachera has put on 15 pounds of muscle since he's been here, as has Jake. So like all 3 of them have college ready bodies. They're ready to go physically. And then, we expect all 3 to be big contributors for us right out of the gates. And, I just feel like all 3 of them are going to be playing like sophomores sooner than later.
Saturday at Old Dominion, Monday at North Carolina State. Couple of powerhouses to open up with for the Tribe schedule. And I'll tell you what, for yours truly, I'll be looking forward to announcing ball games again, and I'm sure you're going to be looking forward to helping Dane Fisher coach as well. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, and continued success.
Thanks, Jay. I really appreciate it. Go Tribe.